When I look back at my life, I realize something very important. The biggest enemy I ever faced was not competition, not the market, not the people who doubted me. It was the comfort I almost allowed myself to settle into. Many people think the comfort zone is a soft bed where they can rest without worry. But to me, it has always been like a prison cell with invisible bars. When you stay inside it too long, you forget you are even locked in. You start to believe that staying in one place is safe, that routine is stability, and that avoiding challenges protects you. But let me tell you a truth most people don't want to hear. Comfort is not safety. Comfort is slow destruction. When I was young, I applied to so many jobs and was rejected again and again. Many people around me said, Jack, maybe you should stop trying so hard. Maybe you should stay where you are. That advice came from a place of comfort. They wanted me to avoid embarrassment, avoid failure, avoid discomfort. If I had listened, I would probably still be teaching English for a few dollars a month, believing that the small world around me was the entire world. This is what comfort does. It convinces you that the current level of your life is all you deserve. It convinces you that dreaming bigger is dangerous. People love predictability. They love waking up and knowing exactly what the day will bring. But life doesn't reward people who repeat the same actions over and over again while expecting miracles. The comfort zone tricks you into believing that repetition is peace. It fools you into thinking that avoiding risk is the same as avoiding pain. But every time you avoid risk, you also avoid opportunity. Every time you choose comfort, you are choosing not to grow. And remember this cliche, because it is true. If you are not growing, you are dying. Life does not allow you to stay in the middle. When I built Alibaba, I had no money, no experience, and no confidence from anyone. But I had one advantage. I was uncomfortable every single day. I had to figure out things I didn't understand. I had to talk to people who didn't believe in me. I had to face laughter, doubt, and challenges. But that discomfort became my fuel. It forced me to adapt. It forced me to learn. It forced me to break the walls of the comfort zone that everyone around me was trapped in. Comfort keeps you still. Discomfort moves you forward. Most people don't fail because they fall. They fail because they never move. They fail because they prefer slow, predictable decline over uncertain growth. Your comfort zone is dangerous because it is quiet. It kills you silently. It lets years pass without you noticing. And one day you look back and realize you traded your potential for routine. You traded your dreams for familiarity. You built a prison with your own hands and called it a good life. The truth is simple. If you want to change your future, you must first escape the comfort that is destroying your present. When people ask me why so many talented individuals never achieve anything remarkable, I tell them the same thing. It's not because they lack intelligence, resources, or opportunity. It's because comfort slowly closes their eyes. Comfort is dangerous, not because it hurts you, but because it convinces you that nothing is wrong. It blinds you to the bigger world outside your routines. When you live the same day again and again, you stop questioning your habits, your surroundings, and your progress. You believe you're fine, even when your life is quietly drifting in the wrong direction. The comfort zone doesn't shout, it whispers. And its whispers are what destroy dreams. I remember when I was still teaching English in Hangzhou. Every day looked the same. I woke up, prepared my lessons, talked to the same students, and went home. It was stable, peaceful, even enjoyable. But deep inside, I knew something was missing. I knew I wasn't growing. I knew I wasn't learning anything new. The truth is, I could have stayed there my whole life. It was comfortable. Many of my colleagues did. They felt safe and never questioned whether they could do more. But comfort had blinded them. They only saw what was familiar, never what was possible. And I realized if I stayed any longer, I would become the same. Most people don't leave their comfort zone because they cannot see beyond it. Comfort shrinks your vision. It restricts you to the opportunities that fall into your lap. And when none fall, you blame luck. But luck is rarely the problem. Lack of vision is. There's a cliche I always share. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. But comfort keeps people from ever becoming ready. How can you see the teacher, whether it's a mentor, a chance, or an idea, when your eyes are focused only on what you already know? When I started thinking about the internet, people laughed. They told me it was a toy, a fad, something Westerners cared about, but not Chinese consumers. If I had been comfortable in my life, I would have nodded, agreed, and continued teaching. But because I refused comfort, I questioned everything. Why couldn't China go online? Why couldn't we build something here? Why couldn't we make global business, accessible to ordinary people? Those questions were invisible to everyone else because their comfort zones filtered them out. Comfort makes the mind lazy. Discomfort activates curiosity. The scary part is this: comfort makes you blind, not just to opportunities, but also to danger. You think your relationship is okay. You think your job is stable. You think your income is enough. Until one day, everything collapses and you realize the signs were always there. You just didn't want to see them. Comfort always comes with a price: your awareness. And awareness is the first step toward success. If you want to open your eyes, you must first step into uncertainty. It's the only place where you can truly see what your life could become. When people listen to my speeches, they often laugh when I say I have failed many times. They think it's a joke or a humble way to begin a story. But it is the most honest truth of my life. Every lesson that made me who I am came from pain. Not from comfort, not from safety, not from moments where everything went well. Pain sculpted me. Pain shaped my thinking. Pain forced me to become someone I never imagined I could be. And this is what most people don't want to accept. The comfort zone protects you from pain, but it also protects you from growth. You cannot separate the two. I still remember the day I applied for a job at KFC. 24 people applied. 23 were hired. I was the only one rejected. Many people think I laugh about this now because I am successful. But at that time, it hurt. It made me question myself. It forced me to face the possibility that maybe I wasn't good enough. But that pain did something important. It taught me to adapt. It taught me to stand up again. It taught me the cliche everyone repeats but few understand: failure is a stepping stone, not a roadblock. If I had avoided that pain, if I had tried to protect my pride, I would never have grown the emotional muscle I needed later. Most people avoid discomfort like it's poison. They avoid challenges. They avoid risk. They avoid anything that might sting their ego. But pain is the only honest teacher in life. Comfort lies to you. Pain tells you the truth. Comfort says, you're fine, even when you're falling behind. Pain says, you need to change. And it says it loudly. Comfort lets you stay the same. Pain demands evolution. When we started Alibaba, everything was painful. We had no money, no understanding of technology, no roadmap, no guarantee of success. Every day it felt like stepping into chaos. But that chaos sharpened us. It made us creative. It made us resourceful. It made us humble. If the journey had been comfortable, we would have collapsed the first time a competitor appeared. But because we learned through struggle, we built resilience. Comfort cannot create resilience. Struggle can. People always ask me, Jack, how do I become stronger? And I always answer with something they don't want to hear: by embracing the experiences that scare you. Emotional strength is not built in calm waters. It's built in storms. It's built when you do something embarrassing, when you fall, when you lose, when people laugh at you, when plans collapse. These moments feel terrible, but they are shaping you into someone capable of handling bigger challenges. There is a simple rule in life: if you avoid small pains today, you will face big pains tomorrow. But if you face small pains today, you will handle bigger opportunities tomorrow. Comfort is the real enemy because it forces you to avoid pain, and without pain, you stay weak. To grow, you must let discomfort become your mentor. You must treat pain as feedback, not punishment. When I was young, I didn't understand how much the people around you shape your future. I used to believe that hard work alone was enough. But over time, I learned something painful. Your environment decides your direction long before your effort does. And nothing shapes your environment more than your comfort zone. When you choose comfort, you naturally surround yourself with people who love. Comfort 2, people who avoid responsibility, avoid challenge, avoid growth. These people don't push you forward, they hold you in place. Comfort creates a community of stagnation, and once you're inside that circle, it becomes very hard to escape. I saw this clearly when I was younger. Many of my friends were smart, talented, capable, but they loved being comfortable. They stayed in the same jobs for years, complaining every day but never making a change. They surrounded themselves with other complainers. They shared the same excuses, the same frustrations, the same fears. Being around them felt safe, but in a dangerous way. It felt normal to not try. It felt normal to give up. It felt normal to live small. This is the illusion of comfort. It tricks you into thinking your environment is supportive, when in truth it is suffocating. When I started talking about the internet in the late 90s, many of these friends laughed. They said, Jack, don't waste your time. Not because they were bad people, but because they were comfortable. And comfortable people cannot imagine change. They only understand what already exists. They feared uncertainty, so they encouraged me to fear it too. And if I had listened to them, if I had chosen their comfortable mindset, I would never have taken my first step. Sometimes, the people who love you the most are the ones who hold you back the hardest, not by force, but by encouraging you to stay small. There's a cliche that says, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I believe it. Not because it sounds inspirational, but because I lived it. When you stay in your comfort zone, your 5 people will always be people who reinforce your comfort. They will tell you that your dreams are unrealistic, that your timing is bad, that you should be grateful for what you have. They think they're protecting you, but really they're protecting their own fear. Winners avoid these conversations. Winners avoid these environments. Winners are allergic to stagnation. When I later built Alibaba, I surrounded myself with people who were hungry, curious, uncomfortable. They were not the smartest people in the room, but they were willing to challenge themselves. They were willing to risk embarrassment. They didn't complain, they acted. Being around them forced me to grow. It forced me to step outside the comfort of my old identity. And that made all the difference. The truth is simple. Your comfort zone is full of comfortable people. And comfortable people will never help you build an uncomfortable, extraordinary life. If you want to rise, you must step away from the crowd that loves staying low. Yeah. If there is one lie that destroys more dreams than failure ever could, it is the lie of later. I've met thousands of people in my life. Employees, entrepreneurs, students. And they all tell me the same thing. I will start later. I will try later. I will change later. But what they don't understand is that later is a comfortable word. It feels safe. It feels wise. It feels like you are planning, preparing, being responsible. But later is the comfort zone's most powerful weapon. It convinces you that waiting is progress, when waiting is actually surrender. You don't notice the trap because it doesn't hurt. It simply delays your life one quiet day at a time. I learned this the hard way. When I first had the idea for Alibaba, I almost waited. I thought maybe I should study more. Maybe I should gather more experts. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe China wasn't ready. All of these thoughts sounded smart, like I was being strategic, but really I was afraid. And fear always hides behind the mask of comfort. Comfort rarely tells you don't do it. It tells you do it later. And that is far more dangerous. If I had waited even for 1 or 2 years, someone else would have built Alibaba. The window would have closed. Opportunities do not stay open for people who hesitate. When you are comfortable, procrastination feels intelligent. You tell yourself that you're preparing. You tell yourself that you're researching. You tell yourself that you're waiting for the perfect moment. But here is the truth. Perfection is a myth. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will wait forever. The comfort zone turns waiting into a lifestyle. Before you know it, 1 year becomes 5 become 10, and suddenly you're too old, too tired, too scared, too invested in the life you never wanted but settled for. I have seen this pattern everywhere. People who want to start a business say they'll start after they save more money. People who want to learn new skills say they'll start after things calm down. People who want to fix their relationships say they'll fix them when they're less stressed. But the truth is, the future never becomes easier. Life rarely gets calmer. The perfect moment never arrives. And comfort knows this. That's why it keeps feeding you the illusion of later. Because if you keep waiting, you'll never act. This is why I always say opportunity hides where most people refuse to look. Most people refuse to look now. They only look forward. They always think the future version of themselves will be more courageous, more prepared, more disciplined. But if you don't have courage today, you won't magically have courage tomorrow. Discipline doesn't appear with age. Confidence doesn't grow in silence. Action creates all of these things, not time. One day, you will wake up and realize later has already stolen the best years of your life. That's why comfort is so dangerous. It doesn't kill you quickly. It kills your urgency. It kills your momentum. It kills your belief that change must happen now. If you don't break the habit of delaying your life will delay every dream you've ever had. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for a chance, waiting for the right time, waiting for someone to discover them, choose them, guide them, or rescue them. Jack Ma says this mindset is the biggest trap that keeps people average. Because opportunities are not found. Opportunities are created. And chapter 6 focuses exactly on this life-changing skill. Stop waiting. Start building. 1. No one is coming to save you. And that's your power. Jack Ma often tells young people, don't wait for government. Don't wait for investors. Don't wait for someone to open the door. You must build your own door. It sounds harsh, but it's liberating. Because the moment you realize no one is responsible for your success, you take full control of your life. No boss can limit you. No rejection can stop you. No excuse can survive. You become the creator, not the victim. 2. Opportunities are hidden in problems others. Avoid Jack Ma doesn't look for easy ideas. He looks for headaches, complaints, frustrations, the things everyone hates dealing with. Why? Because where others see problems, winners see opportunity. This mindset is what built Alibaba. People struggle to sell online. Jack Ma built a marketplace. Small businesses felt powerless. He created a platform giving them reach. Logistics in China were broken. Alibaba built its own infrastructure. Every problem became an opening. Your life works the same way. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what opportunity is hiding inside this challenge? You'll start seeing doors no one else sees. 3. Before you have resources, Jack Ma had no money, no connections, no tech skills, no business background, no support, but he had something powerful, the ability to create from nothing. Most people say, I'll start when I get money. I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start when someone helps me. But Jack Ma flips this thinking, start now. Resources come later. When you start, people begin noticing you. Opportunities find you. Skills grow naturally. Doors open automatically. But only after you begin. 4. You don't need permission to begin. This is one of Jack Ma's most important lessons. Nobody will give you permission to dream big. You must give permission to yourself. If you wait for approval, you will shrink. You will hesitate. You will miss your timing. But once you choose yourself, the world starts taking you seriously. Small actions create large opportunities. People think opportunities are huge events. But Jack Ma teaches that big opportunities are created through small, consistent actions, small risks, small decisions, small steps taken daily. Just like a small seed grows into a massive tree, your small actions grow into life-changing results. You don't need to jump. You just need to start walking. 6. Don't compete. Create instead of trying to beat existing players. Jack Ma says, be different. Do what others are not doing. That is where the real opportunities lie. Competition is crowded. Creativity is open. If you do what everyone else is doing, you'll only achieve what everyone else has. But if you create something new, even if it's small, you gain advantage automatically. 7. If you want opportunity, become valuable opportunities, chase value. If you develop strong skills, people want you. If you solve problems, people recommend you. If you improve others' lives, the world opens for you. Jack Ma says, don't chase money, chase value. Money will follow you. And it always does. 8. The opportunity you are waiting for is waiting for you to grow. Most people think they lack opportunity. In reality, they lack skill, discipline, or courage. Opportunity isn't the problem. Readiness is. You don't attract big opportunities with a small version of yourself. You attract them when you grow into the person who can handle them. Final message of chapter 6, Jack Ma's ultimate rule is simple. Opportunity is not given. It is created. Not by luck, not by others, but by daily choices. Build instead of waiting. Solve instead of complaining. Start instead of doubting. Create instead of copying. Your future is not discovered. It is designed. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they love comfort too much. Jack Ma says the comfort zone is like warm water. It feels safe, familiar, relaxing, but slowly it boils you alive without you noticing. You stop trying. You stop learning. You stop growing. This chapter exposes how dangerous comfort actually is and why it becomes your biggest silent enemy. What comfort slowly destroys your ambition. Jack Ma explains that when life gets too easy, your hunger disappears. You stop asking for more because good enough becomes your new ceiling. Your plans shrink, your dreams weaken, your potential becomes smaller each year, but you don't realize it because the comfort feels good. This is why comfort is dangerous. It kills you quietly. 2. Winners don't live where it's comfortable. Every successful person, Jack Ma met, has one thing in common. They live in discomfort on purpose. They choose challenges, not ease. They push themselves instead of waiting for push. They chase growth, not safety. They understand something average people don't. Comfort is temporary pleasure, but discomfort is permanent evolution. Comfort makes you blind to opportunity. When you're comfortable, you stop noticing opportunities. You become too relaxed to chase them, too passive to recognize them, too slow to grab them. Comfort convinces your mind that tomorrow is enough. But winners know the truth. If you don't move now, somebody else will. And they walk away with the opportunity that was meant for you. 4. Discomfort builds skills that comfort never will. Jack Ma says that valuable skills come from pressure, not relaxation. Patience, discipline, courage, communication, resilience, confidence. None of these grow in comfort. They grow when you confront uncomfortable situations. The more challenges you face, the more powerful you become. Comfort keeps you weak. Discomfort makes you unbreakable. 5. The mind lies to protect you, not to grow you. Your brain loves comfort because it's safe. It tells you things like, you can do it later. It's not the right time. You're too tired. You need more preparation. These are not truths. These are survival instincts meant to protect, not elevate. If you listen to them, you'll never evolve beyond who you already are. 6. Comfort attracts toxic people. This is Jack Ma's harsh, but real lesson. The most unmotivated, complaining, lazy people love comfortable environments. They stay there because no one demands anything from them. Stay around them long enough, and you will become like them. Your standards drop. Your ambition disappears. Your life becomes a reflection of their comfort-loving mindset. 10. Discomfort creates identity. Jack Ma says, if you want to see who you really are, put yourself in hard situations. Comfort hides your true potential. Discomfort exposes your strength, creativity, and intelligence. Every challenge you face expands your identity. Every comfort you choose shrinks it. 8. Comfort zone equal to slow death of dreams. Jack Ma witnessed this thousands of times. People with potential, people with good ideas, people with talent, all wasted because they chose comfort over growth. They dream big at 20, then shrink at 30, then blame the world at 40. Not because life was unfair, but because they stayed comfortable too long. Final message of chapter 7. Comfort is not your friend. It is your biggest enemy because it destroys you quietly, slowly, invisibly. Jack Ma's rule is simple. Grow where you feel uncomfortable. Because if you don't choose discomfort today, you will face regret tomorrow. When I tell young people that comfort is dangerous, they usually laugh. They think comfort means happiness. They think if life feels smooth, then life is good. But after all these years, after meeting thousands of entrepreneurs and watching millions of dreams die quietly, I've learned one truth. Comfort doesn't protect your identity, it destroys it. And it does it so slowly that you don't realize who you've become until it's too late. The title of this video says your comfort zone is your biggest enemy. In this chapter, I want to show you why. Because the moment you stay comfortable, you stop evolving. And when you stop evolving, the world moves forward without you. This is how identity dies. Not all at once, but inch by inch. I've said it many times. If you don't change, you will become irrelevant. But most people hear that and assume it applies to companies or technology. They don't realize it applies to themselves. Your habits, your mindset, your hunger, your curiosity. These things need constant upgrading. The version of you from last year is already outdated, but comfort convinces you that staying the same is enough. And slowly, your identity becomes a museum of who you used to be. When I started Alibaba, I had no money, no connections, no experience. The only thing I had was identity. And that identity was built from struggle, not comfort. If my life had been easy, I promise you, Alibaba would never exist. Because ease doesn't build warriors. Ease builds watchers. And too many people today have become watchers in their own lives. They watch opportunities go by. They watch others become successful. They watch their dreams fade. Why? Because comfort stole their drive, their courage, their fire. People tell me, Jack, I want to become the best version of myself. But then they live every day protecting the version of themselves they already are. That is how comfort kills identity. It locks you inside a personality that doesn't match your ambition. You say you want to be confident, but comfort keeps you quiet. You say you want to be successful, but comfort keeps you safe. You say you want a new life, but comfort makes you repeat the old one again and again. And here is the saddest part. Comfort feels peaceful while it is destroying you. It feels normal. It feels justified. It feels like stability. But it is actually slow decay. You begin to avoid challenges. Then you avoid risks. Then you avoid change. After that, you avoid opportunities. And finally, you avoid yourself, the version of you that you know you could become. I have seen talented people become invisible because they refuse to step outside what felt familiar. Life does not wait for you. Markets do not wait. Technology does not wait. Opportunity does not wait. And identity definitely does not wait. If you do not evolve, the world will choose someone else. It's that simple. Comfort erases ambition. Discomfort shapes identity. Every difficult moment forces you to redefine who you are. Every challenge introduces you to a stronger version of yourself. Every failure shows you a part of your character you didn't know existed. This is why the people who grow the most are the ones who leave the comfort zone the fastest. If you stay comfortable, you will not simply stagnate. You will slowly become a stranger to your own dreams. And that is how comfort kills identity. But when I talk to people about fear, most assume that winners are fearless. They think success comes from never being afraid. But that is not true. Winners are afraid all the time. The difference is what they fear. Average people fear failure. Winners fear comfort. And that fear drives them to do what others refuse to do. It is what separates those who succeed from those who watch life happen to others. Your comfort zone is silent, invisible, and deadly, and winners know this better than anyone. I've lived this lesson myself. In the early days of Alibaba, we were small, unknown, and completely unprepared for the giants in the market. I could have stayed safe. I could have avoided risk, continued teaching English, or stayed with the predictable income of a secure job. But that felt worse than failure. Every day I feared the comfort that would make me mediocre. That fear pushed me to act, to take chances, to move into territories where I had no experience. And every time I embraced that discomfort, I grew stronger, smarter, and more capable. Most people think fear of failure keeps them safe. They avoid challenges, avoid rejection, avoid risk. But the true enemy is the slow erosion of ambition that comfort creates. Comfortable people spend their lives avoiding failure and accidentally avoiding success at the same time. Winners, on the other hand, deliberately step into discomfort. They chase the hard path because they know that's where growth lies. Failure is temporary. Comfort is permanent stagnation. Look around. Most people's lives are defined by what they avoided, not what they attempted. Fear embarrassment, financial risk, or criticism, and by avoiding it, they end up losing opportunities that would have defined their careers, their relationships, and their lives. Winners embrace failure because they see it as a teacher, a stepping stone, and proof that they are alive. But they run from comfort because it kills curiosity, energy, and ambition, slowly, invisibly, and irreversibly. There is a cliche in business that everyone quotes. Failure is the stepping stone to success. But few understand its hidden truth. The real stepping stone is discomfort itself. Winners fail frequently, yes, but they also embrace chaos, risk, and uncertainty every single day. They avoid safe choices that feel pleasant in the moment. They are allergic to comfort. They know that comfort lulls you into mediocrity, while failure, embarrassment, and challenge force you to grow beyond who you thought you could be. Jack Ma says, if you want to be extraordinary, you must become obsessed with stepping out of comfort. Make discomfort your friend. Let uncertainty guide your decisions. Chase challenges others run from. Take risks even when your future is unclear, because winners don't fear falling down. They fear standing still. They fear settling. They fear becoming ordinary. Remember this, you're either growing or decaying. There is no neutral. The moment you settle into comfort, you start losing silently, invisibly, every day. Winners understand this and act accordingly. They fail to learn, not to avoid. They risk to grow, not to gamble. And that is why they achieve what comfort-loving people only dream about. At some point in life, you face a choice that is simple, but brutally honest. Either you step out of your comfort zone, or your comfort zone will quietly destroy your future. Many people imagine that staying safe will protect them. They tell themselves, I'll do it later. I'll take the risk tomorrow. I'll grow when the time is right. But this is a lie. Comfort is not neutral. It does not pause your life while you wait. It erodes your potential, steals your courage, and narrows your possibilities until one day you realize that the life you wanted has been replaced by the life you accepted. I remember sitting in my small apartment in Hangzhou, dreaming of Alibaba, while the world told me I was crazy. No money, no tech experience, no credibility. Every excuse to stay comfortable whispered in my ear, go back to teaching English, keep your salary, avoid risk. It would have been easy to listen, it would have been safe, but something inside me refused. I knew that comfort, if embraced, would be my enemy. I chose discomfort, I chose risk, I chose uncertainty, and that choice created everything that came next. Most people do not realize that opportunity hides in the places they fear. The comfort zone is a mirage. It feels peaceful, but it lulls you into inaction. It tells you everything is fine. You are doing enough. And while you nod and agree, the world keeps moving. Competitor advance, markets evolve, technology changes. Dreams that could have been yours are seized by those willing to feel fear, face rejection, and risk everything. Comfort does not just delay action. It guarantees that your future is smaller than it could be. Breaking the comfort zone is not a single heroic act. It is a daily practice of choosing action over ease, courage over security, growth over stagnation. It is asking yourself every morning, am I living or just surviving? Each small decision to challenge yourself, to speak up, to try, to fail, to stretch beyond what feels safe, these accumulate, they compound. They turn a timid, comfortable life into a powerful, meaningful journey. Jack Ma always says that the most valuable opportunities in life are hidden where most people refuse to look, outside their comfort. The path to success is not paved with certainty. It is paved with the courage to enter the unknown. Every skill, every connection, every insight you need exists beyond the walls of safety you've built. But the walls will not crumble on their own. You must dismantle them intentionally, deliberately, day by day, step by step. So I leave you with this truth. Your comfort zone is not your friend. It is a silent destroyer of potential. Every moment you remain inside it, it is a moment your future diminishes. You have a choice. Break the zone now. Embrace fear, face risk, and grow, or stay inside and watch your dreams fade. The life you want is waiting beyond the edge of comfort. You must take the first step, because the alternative is not safe. It is loss. Your future depends on it.